Nandana Janarandana Yamunatina Vanachari Yamunatina Vanachari Jayodhana Madhova Kunjavihari Jayodhana Madhova Kunjavihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrindavanandana Yashodanandana Vrindavanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayodhana Madhuma Kunjavihari Jayodhana Madhuma Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Na Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
शून्यवादि पाशाददेशतारिणे जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome everybody. So now something new you want to read, that is called Krishna book.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, welcome.
Prabhuji, did you have any prasadam, Prabhuji?
Which one? Me? I took prasad. Okay. Oh, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. It's readable. Everybody can see this.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
You want me?
Prabhuji.
You want me to
Yes,
change it to white
yes, I
background?
can speak.
Huh? Readable, no?
Better one.
When Krishna came, so many demons come, no?
Your voice is breaking, Guruji.
No, that's okay. When Krishna came, so many demons came, no? Or Agasura, Bakasura coming, making sound. Okay. Chalo. Now we start. Okay, I'll only read. I thought some of my colleagues would have come. I told them to read. Now it's very visible, readable. Yes. Advent of Lord Krishna. We will read paragraph to paragraph. Then I'll see that we can understand like this. Can you see every mark? I have read and marked everything, so that your understanding will become very clear as you. Today we will study the first chapter of Krishna book, and it takes generally 5 minutes to read one page. So we should finish this in 5 10. Keep yourself muted. I'll give you a chance. After one or two paragraphs, we will discuss nicely. I was waiting. Some of my very good readers are there, students who read very nicely. Oh, so many doctors are also. Doctor, my brilliant doctor.
Can I read for you?
No, no, what happens? I read, I can mute. When I mute, then you also will get muted. Okay. Advent of Lord Krishna. Once the world was overburdened by the unnecessary defense forces of different kings who were actually demons but were posing themselves as the royal order. At that time, the whole world became perturbed, and the predominating deity of this earth, known as Bhumi, went to see Lord Brahma to tell of the calamities due to the demonic kings. Bhumi assumed the shape of a cow and presented herself before Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. She was bereaved and was weeping just to invoke the Lord's compassion. She related the calamitous position of the earth, and after hearing this, Lord Brahma became very much aggrieved. And he at once started for the ocean of milk where Lord Vishnu resides. Lord Brahma was accompanied by all the demigods headed by Lord Shiva, and Bhumi also followed. Arriving on the shores of the milk ocean, Lord Brahma began to pacify Lord Vishnu, who formerly saved the earthly planet by assuming the transcendental form of a boar. So this is the first part. The Bhudevi is a personality, and she can see the difficult position people are facing because of the unqualified Kshatriyas who are harassing innocent public. She felt too much pain, and she went to Brahma and said something should be done. Brahma felt that he has to report to Vishnu, and he went to the Shira ocean. In the Vedic mantra, there is a particular type of prayer called Purush Shukta. Generally, the demigod offer the obeisances unto Vishnu, Supreme Personality Godhead, by chanting the Purush Shukta. It is understood herein that the predominant deity of every planet can see the Supreme Lord of the universe, Brahma, whenever there is some disturbance in his planet. And Brahma can approach the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. This is the hierarchy. This is actually directly the translation from Bhagavatam, Dasham Skanda. Okay. And Brahma can approach Supreme Lord Vishnu not by seeing him directly, but by standing on the shore of the ocean of milk. There is a planet within the universe called Shweta Deepa, and on that planet there is the ocean of milk. It is understood from the various Vedic literatures that there is the ocean of salt water, just as within the planet there are various kinds of ocean, other planet. Somewhere there is ocean of milk, somewhere there is ocean of oil, some ocean of liquor, and many other types of oceans. Purushukta is the standard prayer with the demigod recite to appease the Supreme Personality Godhead Shirodaksha Vishnu. Because he is lying on the ocean of milk, he is called Shirodaksha Vishnu. He is the Supreme Personality Godhead through whom all the incarnations with the universe appear. So all the incarnations in the universe appear from Shirodaksha Vishnu, and it is his business to manage this world. Okay, needed, we will use it. After the demigod offered the Purushukta prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they apparently heard no response. Then Lord Brahma personally sat in meditation, and there was a message transmission from Lord Vishnu to Brahma. Brahma then broadcast the message to the demigod. That is the system of receiving knowledge. The Vedic knowledge is received first by Brahma from the Supreme Personality Godhead through the medium of the heart. As stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Adi Kaviye, the transcendent knowledge message of the Vedas were transmitted to the Lord Brahma through the heart. Here also in the same way, only Brahma could understand the message transmitted by Lord Vishnu, and he broadcast it to the demigod for the immediate action. The message was, the Supreme Personality Godhead will appear on the earth very soon, along with the supremely powerful potencies. And as long as he remains on the earthly planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the demigods should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family's Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord will also appear in the course of time. Okay, so in the same way, Lord Brahma, the message has come now. This is the message Brahma heard in his heart. And he got the message, Supreme Personality God will appear on earth very soon along with the supremely powerful potencies. And as long as he remains on the earthly planet to execute his mission of annihilating the demons and establishing the devotee, the demigod, should also remain there to assist him. They should all immediately take birth in the family of Yadu dynasty, wherein the Lord would also appear in due course of time. So few things I can explain. Number one, I can explain to you what is happening. Two things. Okay, also I can locate. This is the one. This is the, you all can see, this is what is actually happening. I'll try to get high. Okay, this is.
See what?
This looks to be better. Oh, yes. And I'll try to get high resolution. Yes, I got. Can you see this now? This is what actually is happening now. See, all the devatas are sitting here. And this is the Bhudevi was taken the form of the, okay, this maybe. And all the devas are sitting, the shore of ocean of milk. And this time the Lord doesn't give darshan to them. Generally he gives darshan, but this time he doesn't. But Brahma sits on meditation and the Lord dictates a message in his heart. I am coming. Okay, I understood the situation. I'm coming. So this is the scene of the prayer. And Brahma will then explain the message he got. That was one part I wanted to explain. The second part I want to explain was, this one. Today I was explaining in the evening this. So here is our Brahma. And this is our Brahma. And he goes to the Shirodakshay Vishnu. Shirodakshay Vishnu is managing this world. Here is he, same person. And he stays at Dhruva Loka with his dear devotee Dhruva. So the prayers, when the Bhudevi is here, could not manage, so the earth has become mess. She approached Brahma. And Brahma, along with Bhudevi and other devatas from Swargaloka, all went to Shira Ocean, Shirodakshay Vishnu, and they prayed to the Lord. And the Lord said, okay, something will be done, don't worry. So this is the situation, okay. Okay, any other question? Till now, you are able to understand everything? Nothing, very simple. We read, Bhudevi saw a lot of difficulties, approached the Brahma. Brahma went to the Shira Ocean to pray to Shirodakshay Vishnu. And Shirodakshay Vishnu said, don't worry, I'm coming. And the message was, the Supreme Personality Godhead will appear on earth very soon along with the supremely powerful potencies. And as long as he remains on the earth planet to execute his mission, annihilating the demons and establishing the devotees, the demigod should also remain to assist him.
Sir, why did he took birth?
Yeah. Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji. You have to unmute.
Why he chose Yadu dynasty, Prabhu?
Yadava, because Krishna chooses, because he is his great devotee. Krishna can come wherever he wants to come. And the where he comes, the dynasty becomes famous. So because Yadu was his great king, Krishna was very dear to that. So he wanted to please his devotee by appearing in his dynasty. That is Krishna's choice. Okay, any other question?
Hare Krishna
Mataji
Prabhuji.
had some question. Yeah.
Can I ask Hare Krishna Prabhuji?
Yeah, please, please.
Sir, what is the difference between the Kshirodaya Vishnu and the Garbhodaya Vishnu?
What is the difference between them? Yeah, just wait, just wait. Okay, you keep yourself muted, so I don't have to come here again. Doesn't matter. So, what is the difference between Shirodakshay Vishnu and Garbhodakshay Vishnu? This is already there, no? Up here it is. See, Garbhodakshay Vishnu and Shirodakshay Vishnu. Here it is. See, Garbhodakshay Vishnu is from the navel Brahma is born. He is first born from Mahavishnu, which is also known as Karnodakshay Vishnu on the top. Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes. And he is lying on Anantashira like that, Lakshmi massaging his feet, and the Brahma is born. Shirodakshay Vishnu is next expansion of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Shirodakshay Vishnu goes inside the heart of every living entity. He is the Paramatma in the heart of everybody. He also has his own planet where he resides. Okay? Now it's clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, Karnodaya is another Vishnu.
Karnodakshay Vishnu is also known as Mahavishnu. From the pores of the body, universes come out. See, the three universes are, three Vishnu are in creation. One is Karnodakshay Vishnu, one is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, one is Shirodakshay Vishnu. The three Vishnus actually are involved in the creation.
Right, right. Thank you.
So if you can understand the three Vishnus, you understood the creation, Vedic creation. In fact, ISKCON is building a huge planetarium, spending around 1,000 crores, showing the whole creation in this way. I'll someday show you that details. Okay, we go back.
During dissolution, all these Vishnu Loka get dissoluted, or how it is, Prabhu?
See, Vishnus depends, no? This is when the Vishnus will stay when the material creation is there. It's an expansion. Vishnu is an expansion from. There's no dissolution of Vishnu. It's not like Jiva will get dissolved. Vishnu is an expansion. Vishnu
I mean the Shirodakshay Vishnu Loka and Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Yeah, whatever. It's an expansion of Sankarshana. Vishnu is the expansion of Sankarshana. This Mahavishnu comes from the Sankarshana here. Vishnu doesn't get dissolved, so don't worry about that. Take care. Okay, so now let us continue.
But this universe get dissoluted, right, Prabhu?
Yeah,
there with this
the bubbles will go. Bubbles will be just like he exhales out, he inhales the universes. Correct? Like that. Chalo, let us study more. The Supreme Personality Godhead himself, Krishna, personally appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Before he appeared, all the demigods, along with their wives, appeared in different pious families in the world just to assist the Lord in executing his mission. The exact word used here is Tat Priyartha, which means that the demigod should appear in the earth in order to please the Lord. In other words, any living entity who lives only to satisfy the Lord is a demigod. The demigods were further informed that the plenipotent Lord Krishna, Ananta, who is maintaining the universal planet by extending the millions of hoods, would also appear on earth before Lord Krishna's appearance. They are also informed that the external potency of Vishnu, Maya, with whom all the conditioned souls are enamored, would also appear just to execute the purpose of the Supreme Lord. So I got more message now that Balaram is also coming, and then Durga is also coming because Vishnu Maya, that was also coming, external potency. Everything will appear. She comes as the sister of Krishna. After instructing and pacifying all the demigods as well as Bhumi with sweet word, Lord Brahma, the father of the Prajapati, the progenitor of the universal population, departed for his own abode, the highest material planet called Brahma Loka. The leader of the Yudha dynasty, King Shurasena, was ruling over the country known as Mathura, the district of Mathura, as well as the district known as Shurasena. On account of the rule of the King Shurasena, Mathura became the capital city of all the king of Yadus. Mathura also made the capital king of Yadu dynasty because Yadus is a very pious family and knew that Mathura is the place where Lord Sri Krishna lives eternally, just as he also lives in Dwarka. So these are called Dhama. Dhama is a special place that the Lord is actually eternally present. Only thing is that the Lord's Leela become aprakata and prakata. Sometimes it is visible, sometimes it is not visible. Once upon a time, Vasudeva, the son of Shurasena, just after marrying Devaki, was going home on a chariot with his newly wedded wife. The father of Devaki, known as Devaka, had contributed sufficient dowry because he was very affectionate towards his daughter. He had contributed hundreds and thousands of chariot, completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of the Vedic civilization, when a girl is married, the brother takes sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from father's family, the brother goes with her until she reaches her father-in-law's house. The full dowry contributed of Devika was as follows: 400 elephants fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, 18,000 chariot. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow the daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage till current India dictates when a Kshatriya is married, few dozen of the bride. Now it's not there. Long time ago. Our girlfriend and her bride go to the house of the king, then follows the queen are called maidservant. Actually, they act as friends with the queen. This practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudha brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife. While the bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot, there were the different kinds of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious movement. They were conch shells, bugles, drums, kettle drums. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passing very pleasingly when Kamsa was driving the chariot. But suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky, especially announced to Kamsa, Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of a sister and your brother-in-law. You do not know that the eighth child of the sister will kill you. So he hears something, Akashvani, and Kamsa immediately reacts. Actually, it is a custom that the brother will take the sister to the new house because she'll feel so much pain, separation from the house. So he will take. But here, when he was doing that, he heard some Akashvani, some kind of announcement that this is going to happen, that the eighth child of your sister will kill you. Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty, was the son. It says that Kamsa was the most demonic of all the Bhoja dynasty king. Immediately, upon hearing the prophecy in the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior. In order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows with great reason and evidence. He said, my dear brother-in-law Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. So now the situation we can all understand. In fact, I had shown in one of the presentation on day 4. Yeah, day 4. This picture. Yeah, can you all see this on the right hand side? Can look at Kamsa. So cruel. He didn't care. This is his sister. She's holding her hair and he wants to cut her head. And he's so powerful. Vasudeva knows he cannot fight with him. He's a very, very powerful personality. So Vasudeva is trying to appease him by a different argument that will happen now. We're trying to convince him. Look at the people. The lady has fainted, seeing what he's trying to do. He's cut her head, just imagine. Say one moment before, he's taking his sister to the new situation, and 1 minute before later, he has now decided to kill his sister. Yes, a demonic person. Vasudeva is trying to pacify him. Now that will be his philosophy. He will try to convince him. So how beautiful is Vasudeva? Calm. People also look so calm, peaceful here. But you see, the ladies have fainted. Can't even believe what this person. See, she's saying, what are you doing? Stop this. Like that. Suddenly the celebration became a joke. You see, the veena has fallen down. These people are celebrating, playing drums. The drums down. Very nicely made, this painting. And so beautifully done. And Devaki is a great devotee of the Lord, just praying to the Lord, my Lord, if you can protect me, that's it. Okay. Now comes Vasudeva's instruction. How is it that we are so, okay, Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior. In order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows with great reason and evidence. So, everybody looks peaceful and calm, but testing time comes, real character comes out. The Kamsa's real character is out. He says, my dear brother-in-law Kamsa, You are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who's your own sister at the auspicious time of a marriage? You want to kill your sister at the time of marriage? And then he knows why is he different? Because he heard that death is coming from an 8th child. Then why are you so much afraid of death? What's the big deal? Death is already born with your birth. Any day you're going to die in one day, no? So why you have to give up all your qualities because of that? From the very day you took your birth, you began to die. Every moment we are going toward death. Suppose you're 25 years old, that means you already died 25 years. You're all moving toward death only. Every moment, now some bit of philosophy. Every moment, every second you're dying. Why then should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years, but you cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the 5 elements of mental nature, the living entity of the body accepts another body according to present action and reaction. See, he's father of Krishna. He knows, just like Krishna taught Gita, he's also teaching something. He's teaching also philosophy that we are not body, we are spirit, soul. So the body doesn't die, soul never dies. It is just as the man walks on the street, he puts forward his foot, and when he's confident his foot is forward on the sound ground, he lifts the other foot. In this way, one after another body changes, the soul transmigrate. See how the plant form changed from one twig to another, carefully. So he gives 2 examples to explain the transmigration. Just like when you're walking, when your second foot is on the ground, then you lift the behind foot. That's how we walk. Similarly, the plant forms also go from one leaf to another leaf. Similarly, soul is going from one body to another. Similarly, the living entity changes nature, body as soon as a higher authority decides on the next body. You don't decide. Higher authorities decide based on your karma and your qualities. As long as the living entity is conditioned within the material world, he must take material bodies one after another. His next particular body is offered by the laws of nature according to actions and reactions of this life. This body is exactly like one of the bodies which are always we see in dreams. During a dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold, we also see in the mountains. A dream we see golden mountain by combining the 2 ideas. Sometimes in the dream we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky, at this time completely forget present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you forget the past body. During a dream, you may have contact with so many new kind of bodies. When we are awake, we forget all of them. And actually, these mental bodies are the creations of mental activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies. We don't recollect our past bodies in the present moment. The nature of the mind is flickering, sometimes accept, sometimes and immediately reject same thing. Accepting, rejecting the process of the mind in contact with the 5 objects of sense gratification, form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. In its speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification, and when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts the body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, we cannot enjoy or suffer according to a mental proclivity inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to a mental condition at the time of death. So whatever your mental condition at the time of death, you get a body accordingly. The luminous planets like the sun, moon, or the stars reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs, like water, oil, or the ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. Is it okay? You're all able to understand?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Question, sir.
Anybody has a anybody has a good read? Anybody has a good reading skill? Is a good reader here? Any Mataji, Prabhuji?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
You put your hand up. You know how to do that?
On the mobile, we cannot put the hand up, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay,
Yes, Prabhuji.
let me finish the question. Now, what is the question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sir, who is the mother of Subhadra?
And that will come later. अभी स्टोरी शुरू भी नहीं हुई, अभी तो सुभद्रा कहाँ है? अभी तो इसको समझो. Very sweet. The Rohini is the mother of Subhadra. Later it will come. Abhi kahan chalenge? Abhi to.
Hare Krishna,
Okay,
Guruji.
sir, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. I wanted to ask whether at the end of Mahabharata, Gandhari curses Krishna. So does the curse come true?
Don't speak all those things. See, one thing, Mahabharata I have not read truthfully, and you also not read. So let us not talk. This is from TV serial you are hearing. But how can God be cursed? My common sense I'm using. How can somebody curse God? Chalo, let us continue. Isn't it? Just think common sense. How can somebody? Nobody can bless God. Nobody can curse God. Okay, chalo. Okay. So who was a reader? Somebody was a reader.
I can be.
Just wait. Okay, I'll make silence and then I come back. Yeah, who was a reader? Unmute yourself.
I'll read Prabhuji. Screen, Prabhuji.
Chalo, read. The luminous planets.
The luminous planets like the sun, moon,
Yeah.
or the stars reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving. But actually, the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental concoction, the living entity attains different kinds of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies. But on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is the way of conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community or a particular country or particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concoctions are the cause of different types of body. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body.
So,
Vasudeva, that's
wait. It is nice. He's speaking so wonderful philosophy. See what happens. Suppose you look at a reflection of the moon in water. If the water is shaking, it looks like as if moon is shaking. So similarly, we are in the material body. When the body is disturbed, we think the soul is disturbed. No, the soul is never disturbed. See that? Hey, take care. Why? Sound. Okay? The sun, moon, the stars reflect themselves in the different types of reservoirs like the water, ocean, or ghee. Okay? So reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. Okay? So we see that, but actually that's not true. The reflection. But actually the fact is that there cannot be the movement of the moon. Moon is stationary, but below in water, it looks like moon is shaking or sun is shaking when the water is shaking in the reflection. So we take different kind of bodies, we are disturbed jumping from one body to another body, but the soul remains as it is. The living entity is satisfied, and this funny thing is that whichever body you keep, somebody is always satisfied in that body. There is an interesting story given one. Indra becomes a pig, some curse. And then when he's in the pig's body, Brahma comes to relieve him of the curse. And Brahma says, my dear Indra, please go back, I'll help you. I'll relieve you from the curse. Indra says, how can I go back? I have so many pig wives, so many piglets. So whichever body somebody is, he somehow becomes comfortable in that body. Yes, Mataji, continue. Vasudeva has requested.
Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone because envy is the cause of fear both in this world and in the next when one is before Yamaraja, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of
It's
marriage.
lagging from.
Younger sister or brother are supposed to be protected as one's children. The position is overall so delicate. Vasudeva reasoned that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by
Chalo.
good instruction.
Not wait. Let us understand. Very good. So he's saying now he's trying his best, to convince him. He has given him philosophy. Nothing is going inside his head because he's a demonic person. And he said, don't be envious. Killing somebody is like being envious. Because what happens then? In the next one is before Yamaraja, Vasudeva appeared to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, saying she was his younger sister. And he appealed her at the time, this is a time of our marriage. You should protect your younger sister like a child. The position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reason that if you kill her, it will go against your own high reputation. Yes, so saying your reputation will go, what will people think about you if you do this act? So this knowledge of soul never worked, then he's talking about his dignity, that also doesn't work. Then
Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination, but Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demonic. Because of his demonic associations, he was always a demon. Although born in a very high royal family, a demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give high give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demonic or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigod and demon. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instructions are called demons. Failing in this, Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, there is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties, but if the attempt fails, he is not at fault. Vasudeva thought of his wife as
so
follows.
let us understand one more para. So he tried to give good philosophy, nothing worked because he was demonic. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He's like a determined thief. And then after that, Vasudeva wondered how to protect his wife. So he made a decision. What is that? He said, let me try my best. What can I do? If it doesn't work out, what can I do? I'll try my best. So he's very detached with trying to save the situation. Okay. Then Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows.
Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows. For the present, let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved because the law of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki.
So now his
There is no
objective. Okay, so his objective is now he changes the argument. He says philosophy didn't work. Even he appealed to his dignity. That also doesn't work. So let me do something, somehow save a life. Later we will see. Yeah.
there's no certainty how a living entity contacts a certain type of body. Just as there is no certainty how the blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there's a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful and fearful in the matter of executing his duties, but it's still very difficult for him to know the type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaja Bharata was very faithfully executing the duties of self realization, but by chance he contacted temporary action for a affection for a deer, and he had to accept his next life in the body of a
Okay. So now there is no, his philosophy is not working. He's tried his best. Uh, there's more instruction. There is no certainty what kind of body we're going to get. Just like a fire in the forest, just blazes left, right, center. So based on our desire, we just go here, there in different species. We should, this is very, very important instruction. Very, very important. We should be careful and fearful. You seen a small child, always when he's walking in the house, he's always fearful, always fearful. Everybody looking at him. We should always remain like that in spiritual life. Always careful and fearful. Fearful that some sin may happen from our hand. Careful that we do very carefully our service to the Lord. And fearful, don't disobey the Lord. This is a very important word. Careful and fearful. What do you get today? We always be careful and fearful of doing something wrong. Never be proud. So this is what should happen. But Kamsa is neither careful, neither fearful. He's a demon. Any divine person is always, just like Arjuna before the battle, careful and fearful. It's always the nature of a saintly person. He's very careful to do things properly and fearful that he's not making some major mistake. He keeps thinking whether this is right, this is right. Yes, Vasudev.
Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect. Although Kamsa was the most sinful man, sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That's the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved,
Prabhu, it's
he
lagging.
presented outwardly as cheerful. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, "My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from sons of your sister who are not present now. And who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor is there cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I will present all of them to you for necessary action."
What happened? You're not able to hear. Okay. So now he's thinking what I
There
should
is an
do.
echo.
Prabhuji, the voice is echoing.
Okay. Now we will give some other person, or I will read. Then my voice is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
See, I use a high quality audio device, so therefore my voice should be clear. Generally, what we speak from headphone and all, it will be a little difficult. Sometimes it appears that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva, you see, this is the reality of the world. And for the service to the Lord, devotees are ready to do anything. He's ready to flatter an idiot. He knows this guy is third-rate person, but he's speaking very smilingly. He can see he's a very sinful person. What kind of person is this? You see, similar Dronacharya also came to know that Drishyadumna is going to kill him. Did he attack it? He never. In fact, Drishyadumna came to Dronacharya, can you teach me how to fight? He taught him. And Dronacharya is thinking, anyway, I'll die one day. No, let me do my duty. So Kamsa never thought like that. What is this he's doing? Anyway, if he has to die, he will die. Anyway, he has to die. Let me do my duties. Is this the duty of a brother to kill his sister? He is not bothered. He will do any sinful activity to somehow remain alive. So sometimes it is a virtue. Vasudeva can see this man is so unreasonable, not listening to any instruction. And but what all knowledge he gave him? See, we are not the body. See, this is part of the society. Everybody knows this. And definitely is Krishna's father. He's a great personality. If Krishna is going to choose to be somebody's son, that person has to be extraordinary. So he said, okay, let me not flatter this idiot, a most vicious person. But sometimes it has to be done. He was in great pain and shock, but he presented as very cheerful. He addressed shameless Kamsa in the way because so atrocious. My dear brother-in-law, see, you have no danger from your sister now. You're awaiting some danger because you heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But danger is to come from the sons of your sister who are not present now. Okay? It is not coming from the sister. And who knows, they may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present. Now, nor is there cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise I shall present all of them to you for necessary action. Okay, so I'll present to you for necessary action all the sons which will come. Presently there is nothing. Why you are angry now? There is nobody. And who knows, there may be sons or not sons. Okay, if there are any sons, you have nothing to scare from your sister. No, sister is not doing anything. There is another sister which is going to kill you. I promise you, is my promise, I'll give you all the sons. Now, Vasudeva was very famous for his word of honor. Kamsa knew the values of Vasudeva's word of honor and he was convinced by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from heinous killing of his sister. When Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa, in this way he returned to his home. After due course of time, Vasudeva Devaki gave birth to the 8 male children as well as 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva very much elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over a newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him. But he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. This event is very exemplary. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his duties without hesitation. So look at that capacity. It is so painful to do this. Okay? And discharge. He has given a word, he is doing it. But it is true, he will cheat Kamsa also later. 8th child, he doesn't keep his word. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates coming any abominable action. So a devotee, a great person can take any pain to do his duty, and a demon can do any kind of sin. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kind of miserable conditions of life. A learned person can discharge the duties without awaiting favorable circumstance. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very nicely it is said here. Kamsa became satisfied with the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows. My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept the child unnecessarily? You can take him back. When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased with the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheistic person cannot be firm in his word of honor. A man, one who cannot control his senses, cannot be steady in his determination. See how important instructions keep coming throughout. The great politician Chanakya says, never put your trust in a diplomat. And something coming, all Mataji will get angry with me, or in a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be trusted in any faith. At that time, great sage Narada came. Now Narada said, oh my God, this person is acting so saintly, he's going to delay Krishna's coming. He wants Krishna to immediately land up. So what happens? He was informed that Kamsa became compassionate to Vasudeva returning firstborn child. Narada very anxious to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that personally, like Nanda Maharaj and all the coward men, girls, and the wives of the coward men in Vrindavan, On the other side, Vasudeva, his father, Surasena, and all the relatives born in the family of Vishnu of the Yadu dynasty were preparing for the appearance of the Lord. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of the friends and well-wishers and all the demigod taking birth in those families. Just now, if you will finish within 5 minutes, just wait. It's a great benefit hearing Bhagavatam. Kamsa and his family's advisors are all demons. Demons are always afraid of demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of the demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became alert. He understood that since the demigods had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind the prison bars. And but not mentioned, he killed the child also. Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year. And Kamsa, thinking each one of these babies to be incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the eighth child, but after a visit to Narada, he came to the conclusion any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudeva. This action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. There are many instances in the history of the world that the persons of the royal order were killed father, brother, or whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. It happened in Nepal a few years ago. There is nothing astonishing about this, for the demonic can kill anyone for their nefarious ambitions. Kamsa made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in the previous birth he was a demon by the name Kalanemi and he was killed by Vishnu. Having taken his birth in the Bhoja family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna is going to take birth in that family and Kamsa was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna, just as he was killed by Krishna in his last birth. He first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasena because he was the chief of the kingdom of the Yadu Bhoja Andhaka dynasty. He also acquired the kingdom of Shurasena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself to the king of all such places. Thus ends the Bhaktan purport of the first chapter of Krishna, the advent of Lord Krishna.
One question, Prabhu.
Yeah, ask in the mood of this. I don't ask, you ask sometimes silly questions. Anybody else has a question?
Prabhu, you said Kamsa was killed by Vishnu in the previous life in the form of a demon.
Yeah.
Then he should have been delivered, right? Why did he take birth again?
No, that is Vishnu's position. He can choose whatever he wants to do. Yeah, any other question? Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, why Narada hinted Kamsa? Actually,
Yeah.
he didn't want to understand. What made Narada to hit?
See, Narada is always influenced by Yogamaya. Narada always sweetens the pastimes of the Lord. Apparently, always looks what is he doing, correct? He he quickly wants the Lord to descend to this world. These six sons had a karma to die. Actually, the sons, brothers of Krishna, had done some great offense before. So they had the death on their head after their birth. So that had to happen anyway, not that Narada created death for those brothers. You understand? They have a history. They have a big history. These six brothers who came as brothers of Krishna have a history. So they were to die in this birth. Okay. And so it's not that Narada is creating karma for those boys. He's not doing like that. He's always playing pastime in such a way that Krishna quickly comes to this world. See, just like Krishna's time is to come, he may not come. Not that there is a force he has to come. So the devotees therefore start preparing for they start praying or they start adjusting the pastime so that Krishna will immediately come. I know Narada activities are very difficult to understand, but always have that he's a very dear devotee to the Lord. He only sweetens the pastime, accelerates the pastime, he acts in that way. Okay, any other question? Good question. It's a good question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hello.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, why is it written that, not to trust women?
I ran away from there. That is general, not you, not devotee woman or non-devotee. Non-devotee, we cannot trust men also. Non-devotee men, non-devotee women, both are not trustworthy. Correct? Like men are like Kamsa only today. They cannot be proud. He said they're also like Kamsa only, isn't it? For little of their anxiety, they're ready to do anything. Hannah? True?
Yes,
Men,
yes.
men are also like Kamsa only today. So not that. In general, this is Chanakya state. Chanakya had a very bad experience with his wife, looks like. Okay, so never trust. See, in the sense that women are more attached to jewelry, dress. In that way, the soul in the body of the woman is more attached. And the men are, you see how much time men take to dress up? 5 minutes. And how much take women take to dress up? 5 hours. There is a difference now. You know there is a difference. But once you take to spiritual life, the woman can become much more powerful than men. There is no criteria now. On a material platform, woman by nature is very soft by mind, which sometimes can go against their spiritual life. Too much attachment to this world goes against, isn't it? I remember when I come from home every time, my mother will cry even now. Even though I'm 50-year-old, she will cry. The too much attachment, women. And men are not so attached. Men are a little detached. So detachment is a benefit for the men. Like going in an ambassador car and going in a cycle. So men have an advantage, but they are driving the ambassador slower than the cycle. That's the condition today. I go to all the colleges, girls are the toppers now, not men. Men are gone, useless. Isn't it true? You see everywhere now. Medical colleges, they were always topping. Now engineering college also they're topping. I don't know what the men are doing. So we can't, but general statement, the women are easily get swayed. They're very soft by mind, therefore cannot be trusted. Therefore in that spirit. Like a
Hare
child,
Krishna.
mind is too soft like a child. Yes, Mataji, one more, all Matajis are on my case now. Yes. But not for devotee woman. That is for ordinary woman, not for you.
Prabhuji, hello.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Little less slowly.
Hello, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I had one very general question. Like, why is it that the gods have to take personify themselves into a human being form and make us understand what is right and wrong? When we ourselves confess that God is omnipresent, He is everywhere, anywhere. You don't have to find a space where God is not existing. Such being the case, why is it that the God from time to time they have taken?
Such being the case, you are speaking continuously, every word is wrong. And you are giving conclusion to me. Such being the case, what are you speaking nonsense? God doesn't have form. Where you learned all this kachara? Who taught you all this first?
God takes a form
Why you are
periodically from
speaking? Every word you are speaking wrong. Why you are speaking all the nonsense after hearing so beautiful Krishna book? Why are you not reading word by word? What were you hearing? Who told you this first, that God takes a form? Who told you? Please tell me. You learned from a TV. Show me any Shastra, please, where you learn this nonsense. It is not there in any Shastra. I've been reading Shastra 30 years. It is not there in one shloka. God has Shyama Sundara, beautiful form. Why you do such a aparadha to say God has a form, and then after reading Krishna book you say all these things?
No,
Why do you
Prabhuji,
speak?
please pardon me. But
Please don't speak. Don't speak, please. Don't speak unless you hear first. You read, please, Bhagavad Gita, then speak. Don't behave like an authority when there is no knowledge. You are behaving like an authority. Such being the case, what are you speaking, please? Please be careful. You are speaking
yes,
everything.
Guruji, I stand corrected. I am extremely sorry if I have done. I know I have done a mistake, but Guruji, this is only out of a common man's understanding that I am saying. We see Rama Prabhu's one avatar. He, like for instance, when we see Krishna Prabhu, we have one kind of
please. You reduce your volume first. We are not able to hear it. It's like blowing our ears. Reduce your volume. Okay. Now present, softly present. What is your question?
Yes,
you're presenting conclusion when you don't know anything, which is very bad. Very bad. You don't know anything. This is very, very offensive. No bhakta can hear this. If you say God doesn't have a form, he will get furious. You're doing aparadha to the Lord.
Prabhuji.
Okay? Please never speak this. Don't speak this word that God doesn't have form. Please don't speak ever this word.
It was only out of clarification, Prabhuji. I have no such intention. I'm a great devotee. I'm a great devotee of Lord.
What is devotee? What devotee? If God has no form, what devotee you are? There is no devotee. If God has no form, you are not a devotee. That is not an atheism. That is a Gnostic person. You are denying God's beautiful form. What kind of devotee are you? If I come in front of you and I say Anda, Lula, Behra, Gula, Langada, is it worship? I am insulting you. God is so beautiful form, and you are saying it doesn't have form. Why are you speaking all those things? Where you learned all?
God has form. Then that is my query, Guruji. The
Please
form when we say,
oh my God, please reduce the volume. Our ears are busting. Speak softly.
Yeah.
Or more or less. Softly you speak, please. First thing you're speaking wrong, then you're speaking loudly.
I have reduced the volume.
Please more. It is very high. Very high it is. Softly you speak.
Yes, Prabhuji, it is minimum now.
Still less. It is busting.
Prabhuji?
Okay, I heard your question. Don't speak more on the topic. Okay, enough. See your question, don't speak more clarification, because now you should sit and read Bhagavad Gita at least. Then you speak. We should not give conclusions. Your question was, but don't ask more questions. Let other people ask questions. His question was that how can God have a form when he is omnipresent? Because we are imagining God as form like you. God doesn't have a form made of stool and urine like you. God's form is spiritual. I explained all the Vishnu Tattva. This is a spiritual form of the Lord. God doesn't take form. He eternally has a form in the spiritual world. When he comes in the fourth chapter. Note, you please don't speak. Everything you're speaking wrong. When he comes to this word, I showed you in that class, he came in Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. He's not taking a form like you. He has a spiritual form. He's not taking a form. It's the eternal form of the Lord. You don't say yes or no. Everything is wrong. When he comes to this word, he comes in a beautiful spiritual form, which is eternal. He is not taking a form like us, like a stool and urine. God's form is spiritual, eternal. And spiritual form can be present everywhere. You have a limited idea that if I have a material body, it cannot be present in another places. That is you. That is called Kupa Manduka Nyaya, logic of the frog in the well. The frog in the well has not seen anything more than the well, so everything has to be limited like his well. No, sir, ocean is there much bigger. So God is much greater than you. We are not even Kida in front of the God. So God can be present everywhere at the same time because of his spiritual form. We have a material form, but not God. God has spiritual form. Okay? When our form is made on God's form, not reverse. Not that God is coming in human form. Why you speak such? Every word was wrong. God doesn't come in human form. God has a spiritual form. We are fortunate to get a form which looks like God's form. Man is made in the image of God. Even Jesus said that. It's correct. So we have a form like God's form, and we are there in this world. And Krishna sometimes comes. He comes in every species. It's not that only comes in human species. He can come as Matsya. He came as Kurma. He come in any species. He can come. But all the form God takes are spiritual forms. Even he take the Varaha Rupa. His worship, Varaha temples are there, isn't it? So Lord form is number one, spiritual, totally spiritual. And number two is that these forms are eternal. And these forms are, so just like I explained to you that I was explaining, the Paramatma form of the Lord is present everywhere. This is Paramatma. The spiritual form of the Lord is present inside even every atom. So where it is that you got an idea God doesn't have form, each one of these forms are so beautiful. If you see Paramatma also so beautiful, Krishna also so beautiful, amazingly beautiful. Okay, so don't have this conception God. See, we have form and personality. So how can God lack form and personality? He is the origin. So where form and personality come when we don't have it? Correct? So we have form and personality. God also has beautiful form and personality. Okay, so don't be careful. You should read properly as a elder brother, I'm telling you. Then conclude. Don't conclude. Therefore, big conclusions are going on. I have to stop you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hey, wait. You also another fellow gives. Other people, please. Questions? Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji, can you again briefly just explain Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu?
Yes. See, when the creation has to happen, it happens in 3 stages. Okay? 3 Vishnus are involved. This is Narayana in the spiritual world. Okay, I explain. First is Krishna here. Krishna expands to Balaram. Balaram extends to 4. These are Chatuvyuha in the spiritual world. Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. Then what happens is Sankarshana will again expands to Narayana, here in Narayana. And again Narayana expands to 4 forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and 4 sides. You see that? Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Again, the second Sankarshana, which is second set of Sankarshana, will expand to Mahavishnu. This is also known as Karnodaksha Vishnu. Are you able to see this? Karnodaksha Vishnu. Now, correct? You are able to. So from the pores of his body, universes will come out. Each universe, we say universe is expanding. To that much degree, we also agree. They come as a seed from his body and start expanding. But you can even see just like the son of an elephant is very big, but we can know the size of the elephant also. So similarly, when the universes are so big, we can understand what was the size of, therefore it's called Mahavishnu, the huge form. Imagine universes are coming from the pores of his body. And then next, each of the universe gets covered by material energy, and the Lord comes inside each universe as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the expansion of Mahavishnu. And from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Brahma is born. And you can see all the 14 planetary systems are there. Within this is twisted, it's not twisted, it's straight. And then one of the planet, Dhruvaloka, there Kshirodaksha Vishnu expands, and he also goes inside the heart of every living entity. Okay, as Paramatma. So 3 Vishnus, from the Mahavishnu, the pores of his body, different universes come. Then Garbhodaksha Vishnu lies down in every universe. And then Kshirodaksha Vishnu, which is present in the heart of every living entity. Okay, 3 stages. Mahavishnu, universes will come. Garbhodaksha Vishnu will go inside every universe and lead to the birth of Brahma and other things. And Lakshmi is there at his massaging his feet. And then what he will do? He will expand to Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Kshirodaksha Vishnu will present in every, even inside atom and everybody's heart as Paramatma.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhu, I have a question from this picture.
No, not you. I want others to ask questions. You will not leave. Why don't you ask? Let other people ask questions. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Can I ask Prabhu if nobody else has any questions?
No. Sometimes a whole mood is spoiled because of your questions. Hare Krishna, anybody? What is there? You know philosophy. Why you have to ask questions? Simply try to show you know something. Hare Krishna. Yes, Bhagavatacharya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have question for you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please. Hare Krishna. Yes, Srinivas.
Should we say that we can attain God only by praising Him? Just praising Him is enough?
See the idea, try to understand. You are not trying to, in this world, we try to go to minister and flatter him. So we are thinking that we have to flatter God.
No. I am saying is just Namasmarana is enough. Like
Very nice. Okay, now how to flatter when you want some friend, some favor? You are very nice.
I'm not telling flatter. I am telling if we practice it bit by bit and normally itself we do Namasmarana at least inside ourselves, is that enough?
See, both are needed. Therefore, bhakti has two angas. One is called Pancharatrika Vidhi, one is Bhagavad Vidhi. Bhagavad Vidhi is, what you do internally. You chant, you hear about the Lord, you talk about the Lord. But Pancharatra Vidhi is practical service. So both are needed. Isn't it theory and practice? So practice is you worship the Lord, you bow down to the Lord. This is practice, both are needed. Therefore, temples are there. We go to the temple, we bow down to the Lord, we see the beautiful form of the Lord, isn't it? Both are needed.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like we do prayer inside, and also we can serve
Yeah,
other people.
practical. Practical. That is practical. You say bhakti dil. Suppose your friend is there, okay? Your friend comes to you, I'm in lot of trouble. You say, yeah, bhakti dil mein hai. He say, yeah, I'm in a trouble, you help me. Nahi, friendship is in the heart. So it should come out, no? Isn't it? So Krishna has a mission in this world. Krishna created this world with a purpose. Try to understand. Just like Krishna will tell Arjuna in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Nimitar matrena bhavasava sachin. You become an instrument in my hand. Correct? He tells Arjuna or not? Okay? In the same way, we should try to become instrument in Krishna's hand. That should be our objective.
Hare Krishna. Hare
So
Krishna, Guruji.
yeah.
Guruji, who are the six brothers of Krishna, Guruji? Any story behind that?
I'll tell some other day. But I know there was a curse. They had a difficult situation, and they were to be born in this condition. I'll tell next time. I'm forgetting the exact names. I'll tell.
Thank you, Guruji.
They were originally 6 sons of Brahma. From there it starts the story. This is the third birth. Okay, I'll tell you tomorrow exact. I'll tell you the details.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. If
Yes,
you
hey.
could,
Yes,
could,
hey.
could you tell something about the four Sanat Kumaras?
Oh, no, not today. That we will do it in Bhakti Vriksha, no? We'll tell them. Because now they are not here, no? Now there is no connection. Okay, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Why the Akashvani revealed that Lord Krishna will kill Kamsa? Because Akashvani knows that Kamsa will take a revenge on Devaki's Garbha. So instead of giving Akashvani revealing this truth, why he shouldn't kept quiet?
See, now, why did Devatas do that? Who am I to check? True. The Devatas are the one who make Akashvani like that. An ordinary man cannot do that. But why did they do that? I don't know. You can think. Generally, devotees don't make a mistake. Correct? But why they did like that? You have to think why. Why did they reveal?
Maybe.
It's an interesting question. Just like somebody asked the question, why did Narada make Kamsa very agitated? Correct? It's all interesting questions. See what happens. Generally, the devatas and the great devotees, they generally they don't disturb. Narada, there is no question. He will never disturb Lord Srila because he's very advanced devotee. But devatas can sometimes, just like Indra was throwing water over Vrindavan. You know that, no? Correct? That time he got agitated and he was. So there is no mention of devatas. Till now, I never heard about this line. Now mention of devatas making mistake on this. So there must be you have to think deeply. Why did they do that? But they
Hare
did.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yes, Bhagavad
So I try to say something. Prabhuji, actually, why they did so that कमसा का जो पाप का घड़ा है वो जल्दी भर जाए और कृष्णा जो है उनका इंकारनेशन जल्दी में हो जाए.
Oh, Narada, in the same line as Narada, he also wanted Krishna to come quickly.
Yes. So this is actually divine
Prabhuji,
plan.
Prabhuji, you just told that that six children must die. No, maybe because of that.
No, they had some
Prabhuji, can I tell?
previous story was there. Now, chalo, what is that?
Prabhuji, maybe this is to show another Leela of Krishna.
Which one?
This one, like to show about his divinity.
Correct. Now, see, if you focus now everybody is trying to interpret why this happened, why that happened. Now, let us meditate on the chapter. Now, one by one, tell me what are the best things you learned from the chapter. That is better. Everybody is now going like Acharya. See what happens? This kind of analysis, we are all small people, it's done by great Acharyas. They know the exact heart of the Lord. We can figure out. We are small people. Let us try to see today. Let us change the whole thing now. Let us try to understand what are the best thing you learned from the chapter. Okay, tell me that. Everybody, what are the best thing you learned from the chapter today? Anybody?
Prabhuji, one thing I learned was one has to be very careful and fearful. That one.
Amazing. That was, I tell you, one day I took 1 hour class on this point. Careful and fearful. Very, very important. A devotee should always be very, because service, you should always, in front of the Lord, we are like a dasa. We should see, if you are fearful in front of God, it is very, very auspicious. In this world, suppose somebody is fearful, it is considered very darpoke. No, God is so great. We should always be careful and fearful in His service. Very careful. Say, suppose, take an example. At your house, somebody whom you very much respect comes. Now, won't you be very careful and fearful?
Yes.
Anna? So that is a very nice line. We should be very careful and fearful. We should nicely, suppose you are doing arti for the Lord, you should nicely clean it. We should be, see, we should not, we imagine. So suppose you have a guest at your home. Do you imagine he's happy? Don't you ask him again and again? Are you happy? Are you okay? Anna? But Krishna, we think he must be happy. No, we should be very careful and fearful.
Good things and good instructions only heard by good people.
Yes. So any other
Not
instruction?
demons, not demons.
Okay, what is the other thing we learned from this chapter?
Prabhuji, we shouldn't cut a tree because of harmful seeds in future actually, because in this Devaki was saved by Vasudeva, so he told so instead of killing her, it is better to sacrifice the children's.
But one thing, you didn't notice one thing? Okay, that is good. That Vasudeva, how much he composed he was. Did you notice that? Somebody is trying to kill the wife. Vasudeva was so, his mental strength. The people talk about mental strength. Look at his mental strength. He was so calm, so calm. Can you notice it or not? He advised.
Yeah, in the picture we can notice it.
Very pleasingly is explaining to him. See, try to understand. Life is temporary. Anyway, you're going to die one day. Just because to save yourself from death, you want to do such a big sin. Isn't it? He told him all philosophy. We are not the body. You see how coolly he's talking. And we also come to know what a great culture we inherit. That everybody knows the philosophy of Gita. Isn't it? Very nicely systematic is explaining. And Kamsa is a demon, nothing goes inside his head. But he look at composure and then he appeals to him very smilingly, even though he's, how much, what will be your condition if you are a husband? You will be frightened and shaking. Kamsa is a Rakshasa. Nobody can fight with him. He can just chop off the head and nobody can, is there has any power to stop him or even punish him. Nobody is there like that. He's so powerful. But he's smiling. My dear Kamsa, I promise you, I'll give you all the children. Correct? He gave final word. And Kamsa, when he heard that, he knew he was famous for his word. Okay, done. I know. There is no worry there. So this is amazing. Okay? Look at the character of Vasudeva. Amazing. Don't you feel amazed?
Yeah, great mental strength.
Yeah, I want to add one thing, Prabhuji.
But one thing I'm happy. Everybody is already into the pastime. I'm happy. Yes.
Prabhuji, Vasudeva just got married. Still, he wanted to save his wife. I mean, he loved her so much. He didn't run away.
Thank you. Thank you. All have become big analysts now. You all have become Acharyas. Yes.
Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was learned out of this session is we should be always wise and softly talk, like politely, whether he is a cruel man or a beautiful person or a learned person.
Very nice.
And
Okay.
I even connected this to that we should always ready for a karma yoga, not for escaping the situation. We have
Yeah.
to deal in very such a way that in even the future karma is also needed
Yeah.
for the everyone. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay. So we have to
thank you.
understand our activities. And see, Vasudeva didn't say, now I'm taking sannyasa, forget this.
Ah,
Devaki, you manage your own brother. Now what you'll do? My God, such kind of family. Who will get married to this family? Look at the brother. Hare Krishna, I'm going and run away. Go to forest and sit down. No, he
yeah,
did
and
not.
he have
Try to
performed his
do.
duty
See,
so
try
well.
to. Yeah, he will prove. I tell you, as you read the pastime, you will see Krishna made a right decision to be his son. See, there were millions of people on earth. Krishna could have chosen to be the son of somebody. So Krishna chooses, like in Gita I was analyzing, Krishna chose to be on Arjuna's chariot, and Arjuna shows himself to be such a great person. The word by word he's speaking, so intelligent, so pious. And we feel, yes, the right place Krishna was. Krishna is not dogmatic. He's free to do anything. But there are so many people on earth. He chose to be Vasudeva's son. As we see chapters after chapters, you will see, oh my God, perfect choice. Perfect choice. Vasudeva is a very great person. You will see now, gradually in second, third chapter, his behavior, you will be shocked. In front of him, his 6 sons will be killed. Look, he maintains mental composure. If it was me, no, as a father, with the second son, I would also jump from that house. I can't take it anymore. No more. Enough, my Lord. What is this pain you are giving me? Such mental stress. And biggest, most interesting thing is when this is born, Durga is born, and he exchanges. The eighth child, he cheats Kamsa. He doesn't keep his word. He breaks the word and he exchanges with the daughter of Yashoda. You know that, no? Correct? And when Kamsa comes to kill that girl, Devaki says it was a boy, not a girl. Why you're killing her? But he wants to dash her against the wall, and it's the Durga comes in the sky, and she scolds Kamsa. What are you doing? Why you're so cruel to your sister? You're giving so much in front of somebody you kill the children. What a pain you're giving to somebody. And then Durga goes away. Now Kamsa at this time cries and falls at the feet of Vasudeva Devaki and says, please forgive me. I made a mistake. You know what Vasudeva does? He forgives her. Can you do this? And he smilingly that preaches to her. Very good, Kamsa. Just imagine, like what a large heart he has. So much pain, what did it be? Mental strength. Look at the mental strength of Vasudeva. One after another, his children are killed in front of him. He's able to maintain composure. And then uh, Kamsa apologizes, falls at his feet. I did great sin. Okay.
Forgiving nature, yeah, that
Within
also
a
means,
second,
yeah.
within a second, he starts. Within a second, he starts. It takes him only 1 second to forgive Kamsa. Not odd. There's not a forgive. Nobody can forgive. Your capacity to forgive shows how great person you are, isn't it? They say.
Yes, amazing. Yeah.
And he smiles and then very affectionately start preaching Kamsa about spiritual life. True, Kamsa was a demonic person, his company was bad, and again he became crazy. But very affectionately preaches to his brother. No, see it is like that. Body, we are not the body, we are soul. So what his son is going to teach, he is also teaching some basics. Very smilingly, and he just 1 minute forgave him. And it is true. It is true, Kamsa. It is because of karma of these children this all happened. We are not in control. God is in control. Very peaceful, very happy, amazing person. As you study Bhagavatam, you will study actually Krishna's decisions are very nice. Now, Krishna is not in the scene today. Any other question? You saw the Bhudevi crying and going to Brahma. Everybody forgot that. Correct? And asking Brahma. All the Devatas, the beautiful painting, they pray to the Lord. Please come. Correct. You see this beautiful painting. Nobody talked about this and how the Vishnu heard the prayer. But Vishnu need not appear in front of the Devatas every time. He just gives the message to Brahma, and Brahma transmitted the message to everybody. Therefore, the Devatas came in Yadu dynasty. They took birth because Krishna told them, "Go, we will have some fun together. Come and join in my pastime." So all the Devatas, therefore, they incarnated in different Yadava family to participate in Krishna Leela.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, from this
Hare
I
Krishna,
learned,
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, from this I learned that we should not fear death, and anyways we are dying now and death is inevitable.
So nice. Beautiful now, everybody. Bless him. See, he's only 10-year-old child. He's understood this much.
Yes. That is inevitable.
Okay, okay. Chalo, we close today. Vancha
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I
kalpatarubhascha
couldn't ask.
kripa sindhuvacha patitanam.
Can I
Yeah,
ask Prabhu?
you know everything. Simply you ask. You should take class. You simply ask questions. Chalo.
That is never the
He
case,
knows
Prabhu.
everything. He creates. You ask generally questions which are very advanced for the audience. That's why I stop you.
Hare
You don't
Krishna.
understand sometimes.
Because I am inquisitive, I want to understand, Prabhu.
Inquisitive, you ask him personally sometimes. You destroy this because these people are very new. You ask questions which are like a teacher's question. You understand? It confuses the whole audience. That day you're asking me Radha Krishna Leela. You don't even know what you're doing. You're very immature. Don't even know where you're asking, what you're asking, and rather trying to show I know something instead of genuinely asking a question.
But it was
Okay.
never the case, Prabhu. I genuinely wanted to know.
But you should know the audience which is there. They're all very new people. You are in Krishna consciousness. I know you since 10 years, isn't it? Isn't it true? Correct? These are all very new people. You should ask in a different forum. The question will, instead of helping, will be difficult for them to understand this time. You understand?
Okay, Prabhu. Sure.
We should know when to ask, where to ask, what to ask. You ask genuinely, okay, I grant. But you ask sometimes in a wrong situation. They all are first time they are hearing Krishna book. You have read Krishna book so many times. Isn't it true? Correct? Yes.
Sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. We close now. 10:45.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji.
actually, I attended your class last time. That is Gita 13 days. 18 days.
So what happened? You didn't get certificate or what?
Yeah, Prabhuji, we didn't receive the certificate yet.
Take. You all write all the certificates. See, we have already printed from the central printing press all the certificates. Those all who put the final quiz certificates have gone to them. If it has not gone, means they have not written their email properly. There is no second reason. I checked so many, 10% mails will bounce every time. They don't write their email properly or they don't remember. Now they cannot do central printing press. I said don't send. Individually I'll make. So you write a mail to me. I will 1 or 2 days I will tell somebody to do that. Okay? Can you do that? Very carefully write your name and the email ID. From tomorrow itself I'll put somebody on the job. Okay?
Thank you, Guruji.
See, I issued 2,000, 3,000 certificate this time also. Every batch I issued. It has gone. Out of 3,300 are bounced because the email ID is not correct. Now what can I do? So I'm saying you write to me. I'll personally make on my own computer and send because the format is with me. Okay? You know my email ID? You know my email ID?
No, Guruji. No, Guruji.
See, I'm not making mistake. My email ID is so simple. Okay, you can see this?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, you write your name, exactly what you want. Don't tell no name is incorrect. I forgot P and A here. Carefully write your name and carefully write your email ID. Okay, so that mistake doesn't.
Okay,
I'll
Guruji.
definitely send. Don't worry. I'm there till I live. This will be done. And now temple also send.
Okay, Guruji. Surely I will send, Guruji.
Anyway,
Thank you,
there is no
Guruji.
hurry. There is no hurry, no? You're going. Some people are using the certificate job interview. They told me they're submitting.
Yeah, Guruji, it's very useful, I think so. Certificates and all.
I thought only small children are interested in certificate. Chalo. Okay. We close now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yasmancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhuva evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jai Hare Krishna.